high ceiling, and then at the tiled floor, wondering how long it would be before someone came for her, hopeful it would be soon. Time was of the essence if she was to spend it with Jude and catch the last train back to Barnsborough. She listened to the buzzing of an intercom in the office and the VAD clerk's soft voice. Perhaps she should have made arrangements to stay somewhere overnight. That way she could have visited Jude again the next day. As she muddled over the idea, 4 young women bustled through the double doors in a flurry of bright red capes, Queen Alexandra's nurses. Laughing and chattering, they headed for the front door. Amy glanced down at her own navy coat that had seen better days and thought how attractive and confident the nurses looked. A spike of envy had her thinking, if I had their skills, I'd speed Jude's recovery. Mrs. Leeds. Amy tore her eyes from the backs of the departing nurses and turned her head sharply. A bespectacled young man wearing a white coat smiled down at her. Mrs. Leeds, he reiterated. I'm Dr. Mackay. If you'd like to come with me, I'll take you to your husband. He pushed open the double doors. A long corridor loomed before them, and as they walked, Dr. Mackay talked, his soft Scottish burr calming Amy's nerves. Even so, the palms of her hands were moist, and her bag's handle sticky as she swapped it from one hand to the other. By the time they arrived outside a green door, Amy had learned that Jude no longer suffered from severe bouts of diarrhea and was beginning to eat again, and managing a few hours of unbroken sleep each night. Poor dear Jude, thought Amy, her heart aching at what he must be going through. The doctor opened the green door. Much to Amy's surprise, he led her into a small office. She had been steeling herself to find Jude lying in bed in a ward filled with injured men. Her legs feeling decidedly insubstantial, she was relieved when Dr. Mackay said, Take a seat, Mrs. Lees. We need to talk. Seated rigidly upright at one side of a large desk, with Dr. Mackay at the other, Amy gazed intently into his face, her hands clasped in her lap to still their trembling. He was sitting at ease, his hands folded against his chest as he looked into her wide blue eyes, thinking how sad it was that this young pretty woman would most likely live the rest of her life with a man who, at best, was bitter and morose, or at worst, violent and abusive. 1,000 questions burning her tongue, Amy was about to ask them, but the doctor stole her opportunity. Mrs. Lees, he said softly, it might help you better understand your husband's state of mind if you consider that he's been forced to indulge in a behaviour of a kind that is thoroughly repulsive to his natural instincts. Not only has he had to commit cruel and sadistic acts, he has witnessed horrors beyond our imagination, and his senses are burdened down with the memory of these. He paused, allowing Amy time to consider his words. A gamut of expressions flitting across her face, Amy gasped. Cruel and sadistic? Jude was never that. He's kind and thoughtful. He's the most sensitive, caring man I've ever known. And that is probably why the rigours of war have had such an effect on him. Exposure to lengthy periods of heavy bombardment and witnessing unspeakable acts of violence have changed him, made him lose his sense of reason. The problem is psychological, and the way we treat it is to get into his mind, to help him eradicate that which is making him react in the way he does. He looked deeply into Amy's eyes, his expression conveying sympathy and the need to be understood. And can you do that? She whispered, her eyes begging a positive response. Dr. Mackay's answering smile was pensive. Given time, and with plenty of rest and useful exercise, Jude may be able to put it all behind him. How long might that take?